There's a lot of herbal medicines that are out there that can provide a change in your emotion, your outlook. Now, granted, if your anxiety is severe and you can't leave the house, your panic is getting into the emergency room every other day because a new symptoms arise and come up. And I've had patients like that. They would come to the office every single day with a new symptom. First it's chest pain, and then it's abdominal pain, and then it's a severe headache, and then it's numbness and tingling. I like to tell them that all the symptoms are in their mind, but I can't. Malpractice says I have to investigate, so I do a $1,000 workup every time they come in. And that will give them reassurance because I'm reassured, but that's not the way to do medicine. If I know that this person is healthy, and I say, well, let's see, what can we do? Aside from the medicine, well, we give the medicines, that will help. But aside from the medicines, knowing that there's a short-term plan, if we give a couple of these herbals, it might make the medicines less needed. So the typical herbals that I like are listed here. I have a preference for St. John's wort. I think St. John's wort is great for most people who are going through emotional turmoil. The only problem is St. John's wort has a really high interaction with a lot of things. HIV medicines, chemotherapy, some blood thinners. So it does have a lot of interactions. I'm not sure if it's because it's the most studied, but you have to be careful with that one. 5-HTP and St. John's wort in all the studies has shown it works just as good as Zoloft. Zoloft is SSRI medicine. 5-HTP is very good. It had a problem about 20 years ago when tryptophan caused a whole bunch of what's called eosinophilic myalgias. They took all the tryptophan off the market. It was a bunch of tryptophan from Japan, and it caused people to have body aches and feel fatigued. But they found it was because of a bad batch. But 5-HTP is back in the limelight. I usually use 5-HTP at night. I like Nature's Way. Again, I told you the story about how I use this. Usually it's 50 to 150 milligrams at night, and it calms down the emotions, lets serotonin out. It's a precursor for serotonin. It lets serotonin out, and it also works to help with sleep. Valerian, when used with lemon balm, very nice for 3 times a day dosing. That's a standard one. The studies are great with regards to depression and anxiety. It kind of flattens the affect. It flattens the rise and the fall of emotional sweeps. Magnesium, I suggest for everybody. Usually if there's palpitations, if there's headaches, if there's problems with constipation, I would say magnesium is fantastic. High blood pressure, definitely magnesium. The naturalists or botanists used to term skullcap a nervine. It actually was used, I don't know how far back, for seizures. It would relax. There's very little evidence for detrimental side effects from skullcap. And even with the glycerin-based skullcap in extract versus, this is passion flower, but passion flower that comes from Gaia comes in alcohol-based. The herb farm makes a lot of theirs with glycerin-based, so kids could use this. Even with the formulas, giving this to kids and teenagers, who usually use this the most, side effects are very low. I think fatigue is a side effect of skullcap. Passion flower, I could not find any side effects to it, except for the taste because it comes in an alcohol base. So it can be used for the reasons for high blood pressure. If high blood pressure is exacerbated by stress or stress response, yeah, definitely skullcap will help. Everybody's blood pressure is different, so magnesium might work better. Skullcap, I cannot find skullcap in oral form or in capsule form. That's why I've only relied on it in the extract. I think extracts are good. Usually you have to take the herb, take the root, take the leaf, take the bark, and then you crush it and leave it in either glycerin or alcohol for a long amount of time, and then the liquid vehicle takes the essence of whatever the plant is and keeps it in the liquid vehicle so that you can ingest it. So it's kind of a different alternative. The only problem with that is that you have taste involved. But again, if you don't have any problems with the alcohol taste, then go for it. If you do, or you have a kid, then go for the glycerin or the glycol taste. Ashwagandha is an Indian herb. It's used to calm down. It has many different effects, and usually it's almost like if you need it, it turns on and it helps you. Almost like ginseng. If you don't need it, it just doesn't work. It's called an adaptogen, so it adapts to you. If you take it every single day, that's fine, but you're not supposed to. If you're on your own and you can't get to a good herbalist, you can't get to a good integrative medicine doctor, and you're kind of taking a guess, then I'd say do it. But ashwagandha is very stable, very safe to use. Passion flower extract, as I mentioned, that's one of my go-tos. I used to use that when I was first doing public speaking a couple years ago, before I would go out and talk, and it would calm down my fast heart rate and my anxiety type symptoms. Now I've developed relaxation, yoga, and breath techniques, so I don't use it as much, but as for last night, I wish I had it around. I didn't. Omega-3 fish oil is something that I think we're all lacking. So if we take a standard American diet, we usually have a lot of omega-6 and not enough omega-3. So I think the brain goes through, the neurons, like the picture in the beginning, they go through bad firing. They fire off easily during stress and they forget to relax. So omega-3 calms down. Omega-3 has also been shown in studies to improve with depression, improve your depression, improve depression scores, depression rating scores, Hamilton rating depression scales. So I think it's good, and in a nutshell, everybody should be on it. The only problem is if you have allergies to fish or you don't like the taste of the burping up, side effects of omega-3. And for that, those of you who follow me, we freeze the capsule so it hopefully takes away 50% of those side effects. B6 and zinc, that's more for ADHD, but inositol is a great medicine or a great supplement. It's essentially a polymer of sugar or glucose, and it's usually found in powder form, but inositol in some pretty decent studies in Europe have shown to help with kids who have anxiety, decrease the anxiety-like effects.
Isn't that a vitamin D type of?
It's mixed in a lot of B supplements, inositol is, but in its essence, I would probably take it by itself because you have to take massive doses. The studies have shown up to 12 grams per day. That's a lot. If you look at a scoop of inositol, if you look at the powder back in the Bath and Body section, I think a scoop equals to about a gram. So to fill in 12 to 18 grams per day is a lot. If anything, again, because it's a polymer of sugar, if you put it into your drink, this is tea, but if I put it in here, it'll make it very sweet without really jacking up your glycemic index. If you can deal with the taste, fine, and that's why it's great for kids because they like the sweet taste. It substitutes for the Red Bulls or the Cokes that they get. So, but it does work nicely for calming down as an adjunct. Kava kava, very good stuff. The only problem is kava kava does cause problems with liver failure. In some studies, using it for a prolonged amount of time can cause liver backup. So anybody that I have using kava kava, this is Now Foods brand of kava kava extract. I would only use it for about a month. So that would be New Year's Day, or the stress preceding New Year's, the stress preceding tax time, before going to court, or before, say, going for an interview for a boss. I'd say kava kava is a nice 3-time-a-day supplement to have. You just have to be careful about the liver.